right, everybody. Aaron Breitman, Scarlet Faithful. What a 48 hours, 2 weeks, a month. It's been rough, and tonight, honestly, I will admit it now, but once the second half started, I did not have a good feeling. Hofstra, give them credit; they made a ton of shots. I mean, really. And with Estrada, two-time CAA Player of the Year, fouling out with 6 minutes to go. Rutgers was in position. I thought I did not like the press tonight. Hofstra was just so quick in beating it. I thought once Peichel switched to the zone, it was a great move. It really slowed them down. It changed the pace of the game. Rutgers was able to take control. Hofstra then hit a three, and then they went away from it. And I get it. Estrada gets, he fouls out. You go back to man, but I just felt like the zone was really the only thing that kind of slowed Hofstra down tonight. And I wish after a couple possessions they would have gone back to it. It didn't happen. Even so, Caleb McConnell, 2 huge buckets near the rim on a follow, dunk, offensive rebound, and then on a wide open pass on Cam Spencer, put him up 74-69, 27.5 seconds to go. Hofstra hits a crazy three. I think it was that. I can't remember if that was the bank three or not. And then Rutgers led 2. Hofstra missed a shot, and there was literally no one in the paint for Hofstra. 4 Rutgers players. It was a long rebound. It went off Cliff's fingertips. And I don't even remember from Hofstra who caught it and then put the putback, tied the game, sent it to overtime. Worst feeling going into that. And then Hofstra just, lights out, 6-7 in overtime. Credit to Rutgers. They hit a couple of big threes. Simpson and Spencer each hit one. And then Rutgers had the ball with the game on the line. Simpson made the drive. He had come through in the drive before that. Missed the rim, just, went out, didn't go in. Cliff kind of mistimed the offensive rebound there, and the game was over. So, season over. Honestly, perfectly fitting way for it to end, just on how, hard to swallow the last few weeks have been. I will say this, and, I got a ton of troll accounts tweeting at me after the game and anonymous accounts, and I'm all about. I'll take it head on. I don't mind going back at people or debating things, and but if you're going to be anonymous behind a account, and this was a lot of UConn and Penn State fans tonight chirping, but I don't respect fans that want to talk negatively about their team or other teams when they hide behind an anonymous account. So that's just my take. But anyway, digressing. My point is, whatever happened past Sunday, it doesn't, and I wrote about this yesterday, Rutgers needed to play for themselves. It's not about proving the committee wrong. If Rutgers won the NIT, they're not proving the committee wrong. If they lost tonight, they're not proving them right. It's a different realm, and I maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but what happened on Sunday happened. They made the decision on their body of work, their resume. What happens after that, I honestly feel is irrelevant, and let's also remember that, it was 48 hours ago, their dream died. So I was looking for effort tonight. I thought the effort was there. Defensively, they did not play well at all. But I don't think that was because they didn't play hard. I think they just, I think they had major problems with Hofstra's quickness. And I do think, I think it's fair that, their hearts probably weren't fully in it. They're human, as we all are. And to ignore that and to say, oh, well, the poor kids, they couldn't get it. Listen, I played sports. I didn't play at the college level, but it's, to act like the human dynamic doesn't exist, that, the emotional letdown that you have from having your dream die of, pursuing the NCAA tournament, them thinking they were in, them being in great position. That's a heartbreaking thing to deal with 48 hours later. And listen, I wanted them to make a run in the NIT as much as anyone. It's great for programs. I was in the middle of writing an article about, the last winners, what that's meant for them moving forward in terms of their next seasons. And I thought this was the hardest game for Rutgers. I thought if they could get through tonight, they could make a real run. I thought the emotional challenge of tonight was great. And unfortunately, they weren't able to close it out. They missed some free throws down the stretch. They gave up some good looks. They did contest some shots as well. But overall, listen, Hofstra, is an athletic team. They have, and I think it highlights the need for, and people keep saying, there's going to be a lot to discuss and break down and digest in the off season. But at the end of the day, it's not just about scheme and play calling. Honestly, it's no disrespect to any of the players, but they need more offensive talent. You saw Hofstra. They had multiple guys that could hit shots, and Rutgers doesn't really have enough. Well, they don't. They don't have enough players that can create offense, and that can hit big shots. They just don't. And they've gotten by with really great defense, and being connected. They shared the basketball really well tonight, and they shot well tonight. They shot 51%. But they don't win games when they don't defend. And I think they were 0 for whatever when they gave up more than 65 points a game this season. And obviously that can't happen. If you want to take the next step as a program, you have to win games like this, And it was an uneasy feeling as both teams were hitting all these shots that you just felt, Rutgers, if they weren't going to be able to defend, they probably weren't going to be able to win the game. And that's where they're at right now, and that's where they have to get past. They have to evolve from that kind of limitation that rears its ugly head. People were saying, this team always chokes at the end. Listen, they won 5 Big Ten games this year by one possession with a defensive stand on the last play. So that's not factual. I've also written about in the past about, winning, when you have success, seasons end so much harder, and this is the third season in a row. Yeah, they let it slip away, in the last game of the season. And, I think a lot of successful teams, that happens. That's the season ends or you're the last team standing. And unfortunately, they weren't able to put together a run here. But I don't think it justifies the committee snubbing Rutgers because they lost tonight. I think there's logic in that doesn't make sense. They were judged on their resume. I think their resume was strong enough to make it. They didn't make it. Whatever happens after that point is kind of irrelevant, And I said this before about if they won the whole thing, it wouldn't have proven the committee wrong. It would have been a great boost for the program and their development. But it wouldn't have, it wouldn't have mattered in response to proving that they belonged in the NCAA tournament. That's just how I feel about it. And I'm not just saying that because they lost tonight. I truly believe that, and that's why I wrote it last night. So a lot of questions in the offseason with this team. We don't know who's going to be back. Everyone can come back except for Caleb. And I should stop and pause. And, Caleb McConnell, is so glad he was able to break the program's steal records tonight. He had 2 steals. Can't believe that ESPN didn't even acknowledge it. Pretty crazy. I kept waiting for it. Still waiting for it. But 2 steals, passes Eddie Jordan, 221 all time. And, someone was saying to me, oh, well, he played one more season than Eddie Jordan. And that's true. And I looked it up. He played 27 more games than Eddie. And I don't mean this disrespectfully to Eddie because he's a legend and he deserves, all the respect and credit. But Caleb McConnell also played 100 Big Ten games or about, off a couple maybe. Where at Rutgers back then, they played some really good teams. And they also played, I'd say about half their schedule, looking back on it, more like a Patriot League, low mid-major schedule. So, Eddie's still going to have the steals per game average, and obviously deserves that. And, you know, I love Eddie Jordan. He means so much to the program. And but what I'm saying is, I don't think just because Caleb McConnell played one more season isn't automatically, someone said he should have an asterisk. I don't agree. I mean, two-time Big Ten player, defensive player of the year. Maybe Rutgers, I don't know. Errors shouldn't count against each other because things can be very different. But I think praising Caleb McConnell doesn't mean you have to disrespect or that you're not respecting Eddie Jordan because of it. At any rate, Caleb McConnell's career is over, and very thankful for his career. And I thought he, showed out, and I love that he got I thought he was going to get those 2 winning buckets at the end, and but it wasn't enough, and obviously bittersweet. And listen, this is just raw reaction after the game. I'm going to have a lot more to process this offseason and want to acknowledge Caleb, at some point in terms of what his career meant. But in terms of question marks with this team, yeah, there's a lot. And I said it after, I think it was after they didn't make the NCAA tournament. I can't remember when I said it, to be honest. But, I think tonight also highlights, Steve Peichel needs to evaluate everything. And that doesn't mean change things for the sake of changing them. It doesn't mean blow things up to blow them up. There's certain things that are definitely working, but there's certain things that I think need to be reevaluated and tweaked or changed or, but I think more than anything, this team needs a roster mix-up just in terms of its balance, its makeup. And it's great to be an elite defensive team, but you have to be able to do enough offensively for that to ultimately carry you to enough wins. And I think that's where this team was really missing this year. And, great development at the end. Woolfolk had some moments tonight. Derek Simpson, again, I thought, looked really good. He's going to become more efficient player as we go here. Huge offseason for him. And I know everyone's down and upset, and this was a brutal 48 hours. It's been a brutal month. I'm ready for a break for sure, and I'm sure fans are too. Yeah, I think once the dust kind of settles and emotions kind of settle off, I think, there's still a lot to be very positive about in terms of this program. There's more talent coming in. I think they're going to really pursue the transfer portal. They need to. And I don't think, I'm not worried about the 2024 recruiting class. If anything, honestly, I feel like this sends a message to them that, they really can make a difference. And if they have confidence in themselves, which, top recruits all do, what happened at the end of this season shouldn't really impact whether they want to come to Rutgers or not. If they think they can bring their talent to Rutgers and make Rutgers better and benefit from them at the same time and play together, meaning a lot of high-end talent, I don't think that, how Rutgers finished this season should affect that or impact that. Obviously the Mag injury has been huge. And more to that, I'll cover more of that this offseason. But, listen, the reality is this team wasn't the same once they lost them. And, team makeup, team chemistry, the roles that everyone played with him as part of the team obviously changed things quite a bit. There's going to be plenty to discuss with the coaching. Yes, it's hard to not think that Derek Simpson, playing a larger role sooner could have really helped. I'm really happy with Wolf's development as well. But, I do really think it's tonight was, it was one of those nights, and it kind of ended, I think, the way it probably should have, because, not for these kids. I wish these kids could have kept playing, but, as a fan and the history of this program, and as a fan for a long time, it kind of just, it felt appropriate that you had such a painful loss to end, such a painful ending to a season that, had a lot of ups and downs. And I'm excited to see what this program could do moving forward. I'm excited to see what Peichel and the coaching staff does in terms of rebuilding the roster. And yeah, I think they can absolutely bounce back from this. I think that, there's some lessons to be learned, and I think it could benefit the program in the long run. So I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off by ending on a positive, but that's how I feel. And it's it's raw right now, and it's hard to, it's hard to see the season end this way. But just because it ended in disappointment doesn't mean that you can't appreciate what these players gave to the program. And some of them, multiple years, multiple winning seasons. What Paul Mulcahy does from here, what Cliff does from here, what Andre Hyatt does from here. Hopefully, the Wolf and Simpson are back. I wouldn't imagine they're not, but in college basketball these days, you never know anything. Cam Spencer, he's got another year left, thankfully. So there's pieces. There's still pieces. And I think, we all kind of need a break and reload our thought processes. And I'll have plenty to cover this offseason and the rest of this week. And just want to thank everybody for watching all these recaps. And, I got some production value comments along the way that, I'll try to reload myself for next season with football and basketball. But, spring sports are here, and plenty of coverage on scarletfaithful.com, and plenty of hoops coverage moving forward with football as well. So thanks so much for watching and listening all season long here at the Scarlet Faithful.